So what's next for our favorite good guy? Excuse me, I meant Buddy. Wait, no I didn't. Where's the good guy doll? Buddy is our friend. Till the end. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my look at the Child's Play franchise. Today, Chucky is reimagined as artificial intelligence gone horribly wrong in Child's Play 2019. Somehow, Cult of Chucky receives some pretty positive reviews, praising it for its kills, performances, humor, and concept of multiple Chuckies. Wasn't my cup of tea, but to each their own. Several months after its release, Don Mancini and David Kirshner announced that they were in the works of creating a Chucky TV series that would continue the film's story. 3 years later, and there hasn't been much headway other than its crappy trailer and that it'll air on the Sci-Fi Channel. However, in 2018, MGM, the studio that released and still owned the rights to the original Child's Play, revealed that a remake was in development. Mancini was asked to join the project as an executive producer, but he declined, as he was very upset that they were not only remaking his creation, but ignoring the fact that his original Chucky series was still successful and ongoing, with plans for more sequels. The studio marched on anyway, coming up with a completely new and modern spin on the Chucky character, but keeping several original characters, including the Barkleys and Detective Mike Norris. The story would center around Andy and his mother Karen, who gifts her son with a buddy doll, a take on things like Amazon Alexa and Siri, who can interact with people and their smart devices. However, when Buddy, who names himself Chucky, starts to go haywire, it's up to Andy to put an end to his technological mayhem. Aubrey Plaza, best known for her role as April Ludgate on Parks and Rec, was cast as Karen, while Andy would be played by up-and-comer Gabriel Bateman. Brad Dourif was not brought back, probably because of his dedication to Mancini, so the iconic voice of Chucky would have to be replaced. Mark Hamill, Luke freaking Skywalker himself, was surprisingly brought in to be the voice behind the reimagined killer doll. Hamill is well known in the voice acting community, his most notable role being the Joker in 1992's Batman the Animated Series. So with a clean slate, completely new concept, and new voice behind Chucky, how would this remake stack up against the original? Let's take a look. The movie begins with a commercial of Henry Caslin, founder of Caslin Corporation, promoting their newest creation, the Buddy doll.
Hey, Buddy, let's watch some TV.
Okay. Hi, I'm Buddy.
Oof, that's the look you went with for the new doll?
Your face is the stuff of nightmares, and you will die alone. If you could die. Ideally.
So this doll can do just about anything, including entertaining and imprinting itself on your kids, controlling fellow Caslin products through the cloud, and creepily watching your baby while they sleep. But we cut to Vietnam, where this happy little doll is manufactured in misery. A disgruntled worker takes it upon himself to remove the safety protocols from his final Buddy doll to be shipped out before he kills himself, and we get a taste of the new theme. Bear McCreary, established composer whose work ranges from movies to TV and video games, did the score here, and I love it. There's that combination of creepy innocence and booming intensity. Finally, the series can have a potentially iconic theme. Karen Barkley arrives home from her shift at work, and we get to see the type of relationship she and her now teenage son Andy have.
Whoa, you look like shit. What happened to you?
Thanks.
Very different from the original here, an older Andy and younger Karen, but the two share a cute, fun, and supportive connection. It's funny because I'm not used to seeing Aubrey Plaza play the motherly role.
Someone will die.
Of fun.
And of murder.
There's gonna be beer.
It's dead people that we just murder.
Not murdered.
Only problem is she wants Andy to get off his phone for once and play with some other kids. Outside, in the rain, at night. The next day, a woman comes into Karen's workplace, Zedmart, to return a buddy that was malfunctioning with red eyes. Karen figures no one would care if she just took the broken doll home, so she does. But Andy has terrible timing as he comes home to Karen making out with her boyfriend, Shane. Doesn't take long to realize this guy's a tool. Loner Andy leaves to hang out in the hallway where he meets Detective Norris, who's visiting his mom, Doreen.
So what are you, some kind of fourth floor hallway hobo or something like that?
I like this version of Norris. He's very funny and kind-hearted towards Andy and Karen, building a better relationship with the Barkleys than his original counterpart. Karen gifts Andy with the Buddy doll, but he's not impressed since he thinks it's something for little kids. He connects his phone to Buddy anyway and decides it's time to give him a name.
Han Solo.
Did you say Chucky?
What?
No.
Easy Star Wars joke, but it makes me chuckle. Chucky is fairly busted up, but Andy keeps him anyway, showing him to his room and beginning to warm up a little bit even after creepy wake-up calls.
Is it time to play again? Are we having fun now? You're my best friend, Andy.
Chucky then starts to learn from some of Andy's actions as they begin to bond and become friends in a sweet montage. However, after house cat Rooney scratches Andy, making him angry, Chucky tries to take care of the problem.
You can't do that, okay? Well, why would you do that?
He was hurting you.
Andy tells him what he did was bad and shouldn't hurt anyone, except maybe that tower of trash that is Shane. This gives him the idea to try and teach Chucky some scary faces to prank Shane, but two kids, Pug and Fallon, show interest in the two and quickly become friends with the boy-doll duo and even try to get Chucky to do and say some funny shit.
Now say this is for Tupac.
Later, the group is watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 and obnoxiously laughing their asses off at all the violence and carnage. Chucky thinks this means everyone is having fun, so he tries to mimic the actions of the characters, coming at them with a knife. Andy subdues him but gets his arm sliced in the process, leading to a Chucky timeout.
I'm sorry, Andy.
Aw, he just wanted to have fun with everyone. He didn't realize what he was doing was wrong. Wait, am I defending Chucky? Yeah, I am. You shouldn't have done that to him, he's just a boy. Poor little feller. But Chucky has his revenge when he plays some audio of Andy for Shane.
Shane's such an asshole.
This causes Karen to lock up Chucky in a cabinet, but he manages to escape and kill Rooney the cat. And just like that, I'm done feeling sorry for him. Andy dumps Rooney's body down the garbage chute, but Chucky makes sure Andy doesn't forget what happened. Playing back the death cries of that cat you murdered? That's fucked. Chucky continues to ruin things for Andy by scaring the literal piss out of Shane, who threatens Andy with retaliation. After he leaves, Andy wishes that Shane would just go away forever, and Chucky chooses to take that quite literally. Shane leaves, and we discover he's actually married with a wife and kids.
As one gentleman to another, I just want to say, I really hope you fucking get Lou Gehrig's disease.
He starts to take down the Christmas lights on the house, but takes a brutal leg-breaking fall from the ladder. As he tries to crawl for his phone, Chucky starts up some lawn equipment that tangles up the lights around Shane's neck.
This is for Tupac.
Awesome kill for such a shit human being, and I don't care what anyone says, that Tupac line is funny. The next morning, Detective Norris is investigating the murder, realizing the family man is also Karen's boyfriend. When Andy wakes up, he almost misses the gift his best buddy got for him.
What the fuck?
Surprise! Now we can play again.
When Chucky tries to explain he only did what Andy wished for, he gets locked up in the closet. Andy calls over Pug and Fallon to help him with his watermelon Shane situation. They use wrapping paper to disguise it, but when Karen catches them with a large wrapped present, Andy says it's for Doreen down the hallway. He's eventually able to fix this screw up and get the evidence back to dump it in the garbage chute. He eventually lets Chucky out of the closet, but in what feels like a sad betrayal, he leads him to an ambush where the three kids pin him down and remove the core in his chest. Chucky is dumped into the garbage chute, but is found by the gross Jack Black looking maintenance guy, Gabe. He's successful in repairing Chucky's core, but we discover that the pervert has installed hidden cameras in the building. In one of them, Chucky hears Doreen calling Andy her new best friend, pissing him off enough to begin playtime with Gabe, slicing him up and messing with all the Caslin products until he gets him hanging over a buzzsaw table.
Time to open you up. Let's see what we're dealing with.
2 insane kills for 2 insanely shitty people. The new smart Chucky is on a roll. Andy finds out that another kid in the building, Omar, received a buddy doll at his door, which he named Chode. Oh, that teenage humor is so funny. I hate kids. Andy has his suspicions about Chode, which turn out to be right as he's confronted at Zedmart by Chucky, who plays some footage from before. This leads to a fight between Omar and Andy, resulting in Andy almost losing his hearing aid and lashing out at Pug. After everyone chills out, Andy grabs Omar's phone and uses it to connect to Chucky, but overhears Pug denounce their friendship. He continues to watch as Chucky sneaks out of the apartment unnoticed, following Doreen, who's picked up by a self-driving Caslin car. Before she can exit, Chucky takes control of the vehicle, causing it to crash.
Doreen. I said be gotcha.
Sadly, Norris discovers his dead mother, enraged over the slew of bizarre deaths. At the Barkley house, Andy tries to convince Karen that Chucky is alive, but of course she doesn't believe him, getting mad when she discovers he has Omar's phone. She leaves to return it, giving Chucky the opportunity to mess with Andy some more, making him look like an absolute maniac. Karen wants to keep a close eye on him, taking him with her to Zedmart since she has to work during the release of Buddy 2. Fallon and Pug discover through Omar's phone that Andy was right and Chucky is still out and about killing people, and also at Zedmart. Norris finds out that Shane's face was found in the apartment garbage wrapped up in paper, concluding that Andy must be the murderer. Pug, Fallon, and Omar show up to warn Andy, but Norris comes out of nowhere to arrest him. Meanwhile, Chucky stabs co-worker Wes in a giant Buddy costume in the neck as the kids line up for the new Buddy 2. Is it wrong that I laughed at this part in theaters? Oh well, I enjoy my dark humor. Norris handcuffs Andy to stay put, but Chucky cuts the power and sends some drones out to attack the customers, including Wes, who gets one right to the throat. Chaos erupts as people try to escape before the lockdown. Norris takes a hit from a drone that appears to kill him, but Andy is saved from a Buddy 2 bear attack. The kids try to leave, but Chucky shows Andy footage of Karen tied up in the back. Not sure how or when that was able to transpire, but here we are. Andy stays behind and arms himself, ready to save his mom and defeat Chucky. He's able to locate her while Chucky taunts him through his hearing aid, eventually knocking him out. Andy wakes up to Karen being raised up by a forklift and Chucky threatening to cut him open to fix him, but he tricks him by singing the Buddy song to stop the attack. Andy goes up top to rescue his mom, but Chucky knocks him onto the rope, which is cut to release all of them down to the floor. Chucky is stabbed by Andy in the chest, and it looks like he's finally been killed.
This is the end.
Karen totally ends it by ripping off Chucky's head. She and Norris share a nice little moment as they're taken away by ambulances while the kids destroy and burn the remaining Chucky parts. It ends with Andy finally enjoying time with his friends as we hear Henry Caslin talk about the corporation not being responsible for the multiple deaths one of their products caused. They're just going to take precautions by recalling all Buddy 2s off the market because everyone deserves a friend for life.
A friend. Till the end.
My overall thoughts on Child's Play 2019. I really like it. I think I'm in the minority, but I'll take this over several of the original Chucky movies. People were furious when this remake was announced, backing up Mancini and his frame of mind that a remake didn't make sense when the original series was still ongoing. The fact that Brad Dourif wouldn't be Chucky and the doll would be an out-of-control AI as opposed to supernaturally possessed didn't sit well with fans who seemed to be denouncing the film before it was even out. Personally, I was excited and welcomed it with open arms because the original series was getting too out of control for me and inconsistent. Mancini had every right to be upset that MGM wanted to remake something that was his creation and only offer him an executive producer role, while he was still creating new entries for his canon series. He's written every entry and directed the last 3. The franchise is his baby, but he had a lot of help from Tom Holland and John Lafia when rewriting the original movie, who turned it into what it would ultimately become. And despite his last 2 entries being successful, you're being released on home video. How much of a success is that? I feel like the franchise has gone so off the rails that it needed a remake. For those who say it's nothing like the original, I say good. I was glad to see something different. It's great to place characters we know into a modern day setting, making a comment about how we as a society are obsessed with technology and rely on it a little too much. I don't need another one about a voodoo possessed doll. I've got 7 of them. Like I said, I enjoy this remake set in modern day because it takes the main idea of the original but makes points about big corporations, our reliance on their technology, and comments on parenting. Andy starts out as a kid who would rather be on his phone and befriend a sentient doll than go out and try to make real friends with other kids. And while having a fairly good relationship with his mother, she kinda acts more as a friend than a mom, getting distracted at times because of her job and boyfriend. Andy becomes friends with Chucky, but then sorta has to become a parent figure to him, having to show him how to do things and teach him what's right and wrong. It's a struggle though, because Chucky observes reactions and takes things so literally that it causes him to do things like trying to mimic Texas Chainsaw, which brought the kids joy. I'm probably diving a little too deep into a killer doll movie, but this is definitely the first one that really has anything to say besides Chucky stabbed people. I like the main trio of Andy, Karen, and Norris again, but oddly enough, in a reversal from the original, I like Norris the most. In the original, he was the tough detective who didn't believe Chucky was alive until it was necessary. Here, he's much nicer and actually pretty funny. He has fun interactions with not just Andy and Karen, but with his mother Doreen, who is just as charming as her son. Karen's role is significantly lower, and while Aubrey Plaza may seem too young to play a mom to a teenager, I thought she did a good job at building a believable relationship with her son. Andy is fine, not amazing, but not bad. People thought making the character older was a mistake because he would never be caught playing with a doll. But he even says the Buddy doll is for little kids, he just goes along with it to make his mom happy, so you can't complain. Mark Hamill as Chucky is excellent. I can admit my biggest concern was who they would choose to replace Dourif, but when it was announced that it was Hamill, I thought it was a perfect casting. He's able to pull off that cute, soft-spoken voice in the beginning, and at times you feel sorry for him. But by the end, he goes full-on malevolent, and while he's not quipping as much as the original Chucky, he's very mean and likes playing mind games. His kills are also surprisingly violent. You wouldn't think a tiny robot could pull off anything as heinous as original Chucky has, but between scalping / defacing Shane and splitting Gabe up the middle, he gives Charles a run for his money. The dark humor found in some of the other entries is very present here as well. My last positive is Bear McCreary's score is awesome. It's very fitting during the calm times between Andy and Chucky, but also during the moments that try to scare. The new theme is perfect for the tone they're going for. For my negatives, I'd say the look of Buddy is rough. It looks good in certain lighting, but 95% of the time it's incredibly derpy. I don't know if that was the intention to make it creepier, but it just comes off laughable. There are also some moments where the CGI is very noticeable and unappealing. I do understand people's complaints when they say Chucky doesn't feel like Chucky here. We're used to the smart-mouth, psychotic personality, but now he's significantly toned down. I sorta miss that, but I have a feeling that if there's a sequel, we'll get more crazy Chucky because that's the way he was swaying by the end. And honestly, my only other negative would be Andy's friends. I really don't care for them, and they act a little too over the top for teenagers, especially Pug. That kid tries so hard to be funny, and it comes off annoying. You could do away with them completely or replace them with less obnoxious kids. So while it's far from being scary, and the doll design is less than desirable, I think this is one of the better remakes thanks to its commentary on technology and parenting, dark humor, interesting adjustments to the Barkleys and Norris, amazing score, and a Chucky who sounds great and has some gnarly kills. I give Child's Play 2019 4 removed faces out of 5. But let me know your thoughts. Are you an advocate of this remake? Or do you prefer the original series? Thoughts on the changes made, including Hamill voicing Chucky? And what was your favorite kill? Don't forget to subscribe and follow my Twitter and Instagram. Links to those are in the description. Well, that does it for the Child's Play franchise for now. The TV series by Don Mancini should be released this year, but they haven't given much confirmation or details on the project. I'll watch it when it comes out and any subsequent sequels that follow, but I'd also like to see sequels to this remake. The more Chucky, the better, I suppose. He became one of my favorite slashers after I was afraid of him for so long, and the series is one of my favorite horror franchises. Now that we're finished, I can't think of what to move on to next. Ugh, that better not be Billy again. Hello?
Hello.